Look at this view. Beautiful, right? It's what you can see every day if you decided to study abroad in the Caribbean. This is a tour of St. George's University in Grenada. So first, when you're getting ready to walk on campus right here, as you can see, there's a security booth right there. And so basically, when anyone gets to campus, whether you're a student, faculty, staff, vendor, worker, anything, you have to show your campus ID to get onto campus. Even like I think the regular vendors, if you bring a significant other down here and register them, they all get an ID. And that's how you get on the campus. And so basically you just show it. So whether you're walking, because there's a lot of housing kind of around here, or like you're driving up like this car, you just show it. And even like when the buses go by, they stop the bus and everyone just kind of holds it up to the window and then they let the bus go in. Right now, due to COVID, they're also having us have these stickers on the back of our ID just to show like you've been tested, and you have to fill out this form every day saying like you have no symptoms. But yeah, so let's go on campus. So typically when you first get to campus, you would be on a bus that actually looks like that. But instead of parking like that, they normally come around this bus roundabout that you see right here. Has like the different names. And so these are just the different areas that are more common for students to stay in. So this is like the bus stop on campus. And so they come in, come out. This is where you get dropped off. It's where you get on if you don't have a car, you're going off campus. And so yeah. Also, this is one of the many spots on campus that has. So SGU's campus is huge, so obviously I can't show you every little nook and cranny, but I actually used to give public tours when campus was open. And so like, as you know, right now everything's online. Campus is still like officially closed. There's like no physical classes going on, but you know, we can come study here and everything. So I'm just going to show you like some of the main features, just show you around campus. Just so you know, I know a lot of people are interested in coming to SGU and they don't ever have the time or maybe even the funds to just come visit. I was able to do that, and SGU normally has a tour or a program called See SGU where you can come view it, but even still some people can't afford that. So I've been wanting to do this video even before COVID and just show around campus, so that's what I'm gonna do now. So right now I've walked down from the bus terminal and I'm in what's called in front of what's called Charter Hall. And so in the upstairs part of Charter Hall is where some of the medical school classes, lectures are held. Under Charter Hall, there's a lab where the vet school will have radiology lab, histology lab, and some other like small breakout labs. And also it's where the bank and the mailbox room is. So I'm gonna show you that. So when you walk inside the lower part of Charter, all of the students are assigned to mailboxes, and these little crevices like go back into these walls and everything. There's one that way, and there's even some more on around that way. There's also lockers in here. This is the mail room, so if you needed to drop anything off, packages don't come to campus. They actually, if you get something mailed here by like that's larger than that can fit in this, that's not a paper envelope, you have to go into town and pick it up because you have to pay the duties and taxes on it and everything. I'm gonna wait, but there's also a bank right here, so it's the campus bank, and so you can, some students choose to open an account, some students like me choose to just use the ATM, which is right here. It only gives out EC, but you can use it out of your American bank. You just have to do the translation in your head. But if you open an account or you like do campus tours or something like that and you get like a check from the school, you can cash it at this bank here. And I guess I should have said it earlier, lockers are only assigned if you live off campus. If you live on campus, since you have a dorm, you don't get a locker. And that's by choice. You don't have to have a locker if you live off campus, but if you do, you can do it, especially if you're in vet or med school, and you have your white coat and your scrubs and you don't want to tote that around all day, then that's the perfect thing. So that's the bank. Okay, so now we're gonna walk over to the student center, and as you can see, there are huge hills everywhere. But something I didn't mention, which I guess I'll mention like kind of on the way back, is that there is a campus shuttle that everyone likes to call like kind of like the Disney World shuttle, because that's what it looks like, and it will take you from the bottom of campus to the top. So in front of the student center we have like our tennis courts. Also people will play like quote unquote indoor soccer, not on a field. People will do badminton out here, and so you can just rent the balls and everything from the gym, which I'll show you later. Here's more lockers, and like I said, there's lockers all around campus. You would just choose at orientation where you want your locker. So now I'm standing outside of the student center. That's what it's called. And so there is a campus convenience store that sells like pretty much everything you would need if you didn't want to like go all the way to IGA to the grocery store. Toiletries, snacks, food. They actually have redone that since I've been here when I first started, and then they renovated it I think the last term, so spring 2020, and they even sell like eggs and frozen chicken. Like they sell everything in there. But so yeah, then there's also a little restaurant right here. It's a grill called Glover's. It's usually so good, but again, it's been closed due to campus. They have some of the best barbecue chicken I've ever had, but you can get like hamburgers, everything like that, fries, and Glover's also goes inside. It's closed as well, and there's a pizza part where you can get little personal pizzas. There's a hot foods line that sells a lot of like local Grenadian food, give or take some other things. They sell hot breakfast every morning. There's also a sushi line, and a salad and a wrap bar. And so when you go on this way, you can kind of sit in here. And normally there's like always people sitting out here. And I'm just gonna walk back just because it's windy. But also right in here, of course it's closed as well, there's a Subway and a New York's Finest Bagels. The New York's Bagels sells like a lot of things. Like they sell bagels, they sell samosas, they sell smoothies and juices and all of this stuff. They have a hot food line as well. So yeah, like there's a lot of food options. There's really not a lot of indoor seating. The Glover's place has a little bit, but for the most part, most lecture halls and study spaces are no food. So I mean, you're on a nice Caribbean island, so you have to sit outside. And you know, I'm always gonna be real with y'all in my videos. Like sometimes there is competitive seating, and you know, like at all the schools, vet, med, and undergrad and arts and sciences go to lunch around the same time. So between 11 to 1, 11 to 2. So around lunchtime, like sometimes it's hard to find somewhere to sit, but it's never like there's been an issue where we couldn't find anywhere, you know. But I'm just letting you know. So this is the top of Charter, like I kind of mentioned before, and it's kind of right by the student center. So the top of Charter, like I said, is where the med school will have a lot of the lectures, and so I'm just showing you all this building. So there's also lockers up here, and it's air conditioned. Like it's always really cold and refreshing when you walk in here. And then there's also like bathrooms that you can go to that are like kind of going into the lecture hall, but it's not quite in the lecture hall. Let me tell you, this is my favorite place to poop on campus. It's like those bathrooms never have anyone in them. It's always quiet. There's always tissue. This is it, Charter Hall. Remember that if you come, Charter Hall bathroom. Okay, but so yeah, there's a huge lecture hall in there. I'm hoping, oh, this cat just scared me. Hi, kitty kitty. Hi, mama. Hi, baby. I'm sorry. I wish I had some food for you. I wish I had some food. So campus has quite a bit of what they call campus cats. The Feral Cat Project, which is a club through the vet school, actually takes care of them. And they're around, so like random students will feed them. And I mean, you don't have to be in the vet school. Like there's some people who I see like just with a little Ziploc bag of food, and they just will come feed the cats. And most of them are friendly. But continuing on with our tour. Right here, as you can see on this hill, it says SGU Sim Lab, so like right there. So this whole building, the upper part is dorms, the lower part is the sim lab for the vet school and the med school. The vet school is much smaller, as is our cohort here, but the med school, I have been in there. Even if campus was open, we can't record in there for some reason, but like that's where we have our fake dogs, our fake cows, our fake horses. Like you learn how to, like, you know, tie ropes and pull blood on the fake horses and stuff. And then also for the med school, like again, I've been in there because the vet school utilized their lab once. They have the fake patients and the fake hospital rooms and all that. So that's the sim lab. So where I'm walking to currently, which is the last building you would have saw, this one, is called Taylor Hall. And so basically this is like a huge study hall. Oftentimes the med school might have exams here. Even the vet school will have exams in the lower part, which I'm going to get to. Sometimes the med school will have OSCEs there as well. But also even outside, there's a gazebo here that has picnic tables where you can sit. I guess I should show it from the front. And again, this is just more outdoor seating where people kind of sit, they study, they eat, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, and right here under this gazebo part, of course there's no one here, but it's one of the places where there's some vendors around campus. So as I mentioned in the beginning, there are school approved vendors that come to campus that sell many things from Indian food to local Grenadian food to Cuban, you name it, Italian. So they're just all around campus, and I'll try to point them out if I do pass by some. Okay, so we're about to go across this field. The building that you're looking straight at right now is Belford Hall, Belford Center rather. And so mainly it's a huge study center, but also again, the med school uses it for small group breakouts. It's also used for testing. It's where the gym is, and that's where the campus beach is. So it's like the cool part. It's like the photo opportunity that normally everyone on the tour is taking pictures. So yeah, this field is also used by soccer games, by the frisbee. So there's Intramural Sports at SGU. You can join random teams, put them together, blah, blah, blah. People come out here with their dogs and throw frisbees. Pets are allowed on campus. They're just not quote unquote allowed in like buildings. And so yeah. And so this is what I wanted to show you. A lot of the buildings that you'll see around campus are dorms. So like that one and that one, that's a dorm. These are all dorms. And I have, and even the building right next to Belford is our newest dorm. It's very nice, very nice. I have a on-campus housing video, so you should check that out, where I show the dorms, try to like give a layout of everything. But I'm squinting and I have sunglasses, you know, like I make life so hard. The new dorm is like super nice. There's study halls at the corners that anyone can use. So like I remember me, my roommate, my girlfriend, we used to go in there and study all the time. It's super nice, it's quiet, and it overlooks the beach. But I can't show you all of this, but just know it's there. Also, as we approach, there's basketball courts. There's always guys out here, no matter what time of day it is. Even in the heat of the day, I don't understand, somebody's on that court. But at night, there's always little small games going. There's even like small local teams that will come play. And then we have the volleyball court. It too is always popping. There's always someone on that volleyball court. So Belford is like the newest spot on campus. It's very popular, especially with new and old students, but new students especially. So underneath, I'm gonna show there's an outdoor study area. There's whiteboards over here for people to use, and especially now since COVID, it's been especially more popular since it's one of the first places that even when all the indoor study spaces were closed, you could still study outside. It's a nice breezeway. So I'm gonna show that. Then I'm go upstairs, show the gym, and show some of the group study hall spaces and what it looks like. Going upstairs to the gym, this is the worst part of the gym, like going up here and studying here, are the stairs, because there's so many, and there's like 4 flights, so that can be annoying, but you know, you get your workout in. I know my girlfriend used to hate it because a lot of times her small group session would be on the most top floor, so when you're running here after eating lunch and you have 5 minutes to get up there, you know, you're going all the way up, and these are like big staircases. So this is the gym. So this is the gym. There's like lines and lines of treadmills, ellipticals, all that jazz, and it overlooks the beach. It's like the best view. There's like all types of machines, Smith machines, all these benches. The other side overlooks the basketball court. There's also like a CrossFit area over there with tires, punching bags, rock climbing. Then there's the free weights. There's also the basketballs and all the other balls to rent out and everything. That you can get. I didn't really know what those belts were. And then there's also an aerobic room with mats, medicine balls, all that jazz. And there was someone in there, so yeah. Okay, so continuing on out, This is the Belford Beach area. There's also grills over here that are available for students to use. You just have to, I think, bring your own lighter and bring the food. There's seating areas out here. People will take naps out here. I am guilty of that. I've taken a nap outside here so many times. Like sometimes, like when I have like an awkward like 2.5 gap, but I don't want to go home. There's also pool tables where you can rent out the cue balls and the sticks and everything from the gym. And then normally some of these chairs are actually on this beach area right here. Local fishermen will come up and you can sell fish. I mean, you can buy fish, you can buy lobsters for like literally nothing, like 5 EC, which is not even $2 in the US. This is another area that some vendors are. There's usually a smoothie spot. My favorite Indian food place, his name is Yakub, I love him. Cuban, and there was a vegan or vegetarian, I think both, spot right here. So yeah, we're just gonna continue on though. This is Patrick Adams Hall. It's where all of the white coat ceremonies are held because it holds like, I think over 1,000 students, or it has 1,000 seats, so it's the biggest hall. It's also where the bigger fall classes of med school will have their lectures. Again, I don't think I can go in, but in my opinion, an auditorium is an auditorium. It's like, you know, bleacher style seats with 2 big screens in the front. That's all I can say. So yeah, here's a view of the ocean. Of course, this whole little scenery is like common white coat picture areas, and like just like right there, you'll see there's like random scattered and right there's like random scattered benches and picnic tables around for people to sit. Now, if we were on the traditional school tour, we would kind of go like back up that way, up in between those trees. No one ever goes up there. Like there's nothing over there. The only thing I will point out is that these little markings right here mark off like distance around the campus. If you are a long distance runner, cross country, whatever you want to call it, there is a trail around campus. I don't know, like not a trail, but a path around campus. I don't know exactly how much it equates to. I think it's a mile, and so you can do one that's more uphill, one's more downhill. But regardless, as you can see, this very, very large hill. There's hills everywhere down here, and it's one of the things that sucks because they're so steep. And so like that's why like during normal campus, like everyone is like fighting to get on the tram. Like there's times like when it's not as busy, but you know the peak time. So that's how you know I love you guys, because I'm actually walking around this campus in the hot up these hills. Catch my breath. Oh my god. And I've been working out. The wind, but these walks, they never get easier. Like never. But look at the view. It's so pretty. The water's like always so blue. Okay, so I'm at the top of campus. The top of campus is more dominated by vet students, and I would say like the School of Arts and Sciences, just because med school, most of the buildings that they're going to do lecture and small group in are down the hill. So looking back through here, kind of right here, these are all School of Arts and Science buildings. They're smaller lecture halls. They maybe hold like I'd say 30 to maybe even 60 students, give or take, depending on the size. This is Pensick Hall right here. It's a study hall, but it's also where some of the School of Medicine will have small groups, or what's called ITI. So that's Pensick Hall. Walking this way, we're going to Monica, and the reason I'm not like very pressed about these halls is because all of the study spaces kind of look similar. They're just in different spaces. So if I can show you one, you know what the inside of them they all look like. So this is Monica Hall. It's one of my favorite places on campus just because I love the open breezeway. It's actually where they're doing COVID testing right now, but pretty much there's the upstairs that has group studying, downstairs has like individual private quiet studying. It's really, really pretty. It's like the best place I feel like for pictures on campus, even more than Belford. Across is the Woodruff Research Center if you're into research. So this is the upstairs, and like I said, it's open study. This is where, you know, there will be some class activities, but it's mostly for group studying and everything. There's usually TVs in here too. And then you go back downstairs, go on the side of the building to head down to where the private studying entrance is. There's also a gazebo down here with microwaves where people kind of like step out to stretch their legs or get a snack between studying. So the private study areas are quiet. It's kind of like library type setting. So this is like the prime place where you'll have exams. It's also where a lot of people study. I personally hate it because I like to talk and I just like noise. Like I like moving around. So I prefer the upper level type study spaces where there's tables, you know, those are where people are talking, it's group study. Even if I'm by myself, like I don't like quiet spaces, but like some people love it. Some people like sleep and breathe down here. Like they bring pillows and blankets and like leave their stuff. The only time you'll have to like, you're not supposed to do that, but people do it. And then during exams, you'll come down here. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you is about exams. SGU takes their exams stupid serious. Around campus, there are these little like things where you would swipe in your ID and it would beep. I don't really know what it does, but I think it checks you into that location. You would show up at your location with your laptop, with your exam downloaded. You show them the screen, you can't bring anything in, so like all of your stuff would just kind of like stay out here. There's usually like a security guard out here to kind of monitor it. You go in with just your laptop charger. That's it. You get a whiteboard, you get a marker, it's already sitting in there. Can't have on a hoodie, your hair has to be up, they have to see your ears, blah, 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 blah. That's how exams work. And it's not only here, they're all around campus, different places. So sometimes like these study areas might not be available. That's also, again, me being real, that's like an ongoing thing because sometimes like if there's an exam going, you can't come study at Monica. Or if there's a small group going at Belford, you can't go up there. So the students have really been advocating for another study center, or a testing center rather, so that the study centers aren't taken up by testing. So let me show you inside if it's open. I'm gonna be quiet because I don't know if anyone's in here. So yeah, that's that, and it's the same on that side. It's the same in Lower Taylor where I couldn't show you because I think it was closed. And so yeah, there's another picnic pavilion over here. There's also the Department of like Educational Student Services over there, which is like all the tutoring centers, or you know, if you're like low-key failing a class or your studying skills just aren't working, they'll meet with you and everything. So I'm gonna kind of show you the back half of campus before I finish the other half of the top of campus. This video is getting really long, but guys, you know I'm thorough. Like I gotta tell y'all so y'all can know if you wanna come down here and live this life, because it's not for everyone. So here's the bookstore. Again, is it open? No, it's not, of course not. But there's the bookstore. You know, you can get all your paraphernalia, your hoodies. They sell like cold drinks and whiteboards, little mini whiteboards and expo markers and everything. So if you ever need anything, here walking on is the library. You know, this is one of the main pictures that come up if you like Google SGU. So yeah, one side of the library is the actual library, one side is IT. So if you have any issues with your computers or things like that, you can come here and hope they can fix it. There's not a lot of places to take it on the island, especially for Apple, anything, Mac, iPad, iPhone. Bring 2 cables, everything, because if it goes out, it's a lot to do. There's also printing services in the library. It's the biggest one, but there's also scattered printing around. Everyone gets allocated printing, like I think $125 worth every term, and it's like 5 cents a page. You will never go through it, but it's there. Occasionally you will have a little report to print out, or the professor might make you print out a mini lab manual and you still don't even put a dent in it. So there's printing. And the last thing back here is rituals. It's like SGU Starbucks. It's always popping. They have all your little fancy coffees, everything like that. And yeah, there's Caribbean house. There is a grand piano in there. It's also highly air conditioned. And here is another food vendor stand. When you go on around, there's like a huge grass lawn back there that people like to take pictures on. There's also a cliff back there that some students may or may not jump off of. And yeah, so that's cool. And so now I really keep thinking that there's not much left for me to show you, but there's still quite a bit. So we're going to like hurry and go to the other side of campus. Okay, so we're back. Remember we walked up that hill where that security truck is coming by? There's also campus security around like everywhere. So we're still at the top of campus. Over there is Bourne Hall. It's where a lot of the School of Arts and Sciences happens. Again, back there in those buildings. Department of Psych Services is also in that general area back over there. This is David Brown Hall. It's where all of your lectures will be term 1 and term 2 of vet. There's also 2 ATMs up here if you're ever on the top of campus. You know, wishful thinking that it might be open. I highly doubt that it is, but it's just, again, kind of, it's not stadium seated auditorium because there's desks, but if you could imagine a desk being in the shape of an auditorium. So that's in here. Also, it's freezing cold. It is probably the coldest building I have ever been in my life, and it's hot here. You're always sweating, and then you walk in there and you catch pneumonia because you're wet from the sweat. No, but so everyone always has super thick hoodies, sweatpants, blase blah, blankets. You will need it in that dorm. I mean, in the study hall. It's like so cold, and all of the study halls and indoor spaces are air conditioned and they feel nice. But this one is like, there's been polls to like adjust the thermostat and it never gets changed, but you know. And so yeah, they're currently doing construction right here, but normally there's everyone calls him the bread guy. He sells like local bakery, local baked goods, pastries. He sells good baked bread. There's also a little stand called Mocha Spoke or Burger Spoke, and they sell burgers, fries, and really good chicken nuggets. They taste like McDonald's. There's usually a guy who sells eggs, like 2.5 dozens, like it's a carton, and you get it for 20 EC, which is only $8. And so you'll see everyone on Tuesdays walking around with cartons of eggs. There's also a guy who comes and sells fresh produce up here that you can buy. And then also, as you can see, there's more outdoor sitting areas, but kind of behind that there's a little hall, and there's about 5 or 6 vendors in there. This is where, how I said campus is one big circle. You would come up this way, you cannot go that way, so you would come up here and it leads on around. There are more dorms up there, but other than the dorms, there's not really much else on that side of campus. The parking lot that students use are also up there. We can't park any and everywhere we want. There's a specific lot at the top of campus. The good thing though is the campus shuttle does go up there, so like at the end of the day you don't have to like hike up campus. I mean, you can, and I have done it. And as we have, the shuttle wasn't here my first term, but I also didn't drive my first term. But so yeah, if you live up there, the shuttle can take you up there. But we're gonna continue on kind of back down this hill. Also right here behind me, like right there, is the student health center. You can get health insurance, at least for the US students, through the school, but I think any student, you can get health insurance through the school. They'll do dental, vision, and medical. So almost done with this tour. So right here we have our vet anatomy building, and kind of back down this road, again, like we just came from over here, back down this road, we call it like the vet kind of like corner, because that's where all of the vet diagnostic labs are. So you'll take like your bacteriology, your clinical pathology lab, even pathology. The necropsy lab is over here. When you're in your upper terms 3 through 6, you have lecture down here, and everything. Again, these big tall buildings, like this one, these are dorms. And so most of the dorms on the lower side of campus are for vet and med students. Most of the ones on the upper side of campus are for students in the School of Arts and Sciences. Just kind of like a difference. But so yeah, there's also a little coffee shop kind of back here. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of end this campus tour here. I know I said in my head I had that it was gonna be a short, you know, and sweet 10-minute vlog, but you know, this school is huge, and I talk, and I just wanted to like really show you like everything SGU has. But especially if you're considering vet school and you're just interested in a Caribbean school, my friend Ashley Vassell has a YouTube channel about Ross, and she has a small Ross tour video. Ross is like much smaller because the vet and med school are on 2 different islands. The med school's in Barbados, the vet school's in St. Kitts. So be sure to like go look at her channel, go look at her campus tour if you're interested in knowing the differences. But I have one more thing to show you guys, just a bonus, but if you're tired of watching, you just wanted to know what the school was like, that's it. But I'm gonna show you kind of a little off-campus thing right outside of campus if you just want to stick along for the ride. So now we're just headed back off campus, and we're gonna pass some of the off-campus housing that's directly off campus and walking distance. I have a video on that. I'm gonna show you two places called Container Park and Options. This first place I'm passing, this green building, is a place I really like called Shawarma King. Going on down, I'm gonna come back to Container Park since I parked there. First is a place called Options, and they have kind of a mix of local foods and other foods. So there's an Indian spot, a pita spot, a Vietnamese, wing stop, smoothies and ice cream. One of the most common places is this place called Cuban Corner. A lot of students go here and like hype it up. Also in this little corner back, or just in this general vicinity, it's a veterinary small animal teaching hospital or teaching clinic, and the large animal facility, so that's there. But anyways, walking on back, and all of this again is within like literally a 3 to 5 minute walk, depending how fast you walk, right outside of campus. So people will go here during lunch, you know, right after class to study, because it's literally in walking distance. Over here they're doing construction, but this is walking to Container Park. There's a mix of places over here, from another Cuban spot that's my personal favorite, a little Mexican spot. There's a place called Flavor House. She has kind of like Buddha bowls, boba tea, convenience store. There's a place called The Lab that's literally just a small bar. People come over here to drink. There's an ice cream place, and so yeah, this is kind of just it. I just wanted to show you all this. So I'm about to get something to eat. I'm gonna head home, but I really hope this was helpful. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, ask me any questions if you need it, and until next time.